Right now, I do want to take you out to this live image that we do have right here, as we are now hearing from friends and colleagues of a firefighter who died last night in New York.
Scott Coyne. I was the captain and lieutenant here on Watkins Street for approximately the last 16 years. First name Scott, S-C-O-T-T. Last name spelled Coyne, C-O-Y-N-E. Standing alongside here, Lieutenant James Walker of Engine Company 231 and Fireman Jake Toohey of Engine Company 231. Walker, W-A-L-K-E-R, Toohey, T-U-O-H-E-Y. I'll let them respell when they come. Anybody who knows me knows I'm usually not one loss for a loss of words. You know, when you think of New York City firemen, you always think of figures that are larger than life. And, you know, Pat Brady, he filled that whole 2 words and thought process probably about as best as anybody could. Both as a friend, to his family, to anybody who knows him off of work, and those who worked with him here. I was fortunate enough to be a lieutenant here when Fireman Pat Brady first became a probie at Engine Company 227 up the block from here. And he came to do his 60-day detail. And you could tell there was something different about Pat. You could see how well he filled up a room, even though he was one of the newest guys who was coming here, meeting all new people. And then just his work ethic and everything else. I was also fortunate enough to then recruit him to when he came and transferred here to Watkins Street, to Ladder 120. And once again, come back and work alongside him. As a supervisor, he was one of the greatest. He did what you needed done before you even asked. He took care of those who were now younger than him and knew it in the rank and file. And he was good when we went out the door to a lot of these buildings that are right around us here. He was also older, so it was easy for, you know, when you look for somebody to hang out with or whatever, have tickets to a game, and it became a lot more friendly in that aspect. You know, it's unfortunate, beyond words, why we're standing here right now. I'm going to let Lieutenant Walker and Fireman Toohey spell their names and come up here and speak. But, you know, if there was a couple of words really just for Pat, he was an organizer, he was an informal leader, you know, and he just brightened up the room. I honestly think, you know, he made friends with everybody. You know, when you look back at your own life, whenever, you'd always want to be like a figure that is like a Pat Brady. I'm going to turn everything over to Lieutenant Walker.
Lieutenant James Walker, James Walker. I've had the pleasure of working on Watkins Street for the last 5 years or so. Pat got here in 2022, and when I moved to Rockaway, which is Pat's hometown, if you're from Rockaway, you know Pat Brady, everybody knows Pat. He kind of took me under his wing, and it was, I couldn't tell you, I didn't really, you know a lot of people, but, you know, I hung out with Pat, and I got to meet the entire neighborhood. Pat was the type of guy that you really hoped was working when you were coming into work. You just wanted to see his name on the board. You wanted to see his car in the parking lot. And that was it. Just know you're going to have a great night. And I don't really have the words to sum up or describe the type of person Pat was. You had to meet him because, like Scott said, he was larger than life. So, thank you.
My name's Firefighter Jake Toohey, T-O-U-H-E-Y. I've been assigned to Engine Company 231 for 6 years. I had the honor and privilege of knowing Pat for about the last 18 years. I had the privilege of working with him for the last 3 or 4 years here on Watkins Street. His love for this firehouse, for the members of this firehouse, only came second to the love for his wife, Cara.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, very emotional right there as you saw the New York City Fire Department honoring one of their own, Patrick Brady, who died while battling a fire late last night.